Hello, welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB on the Young CGB account, free to play, trying to get you the best MTG free to play experience available. Now, we don't have any quest crossover today. We have a 750 for 30 blue or red spells, and we're still 5 away from our white and black spells quest, but we got a few days to work that yet, and we don't have to worry about empty quest slots if we're logging in every day. So, cool. Packs, I know. The Dirty 30. Still don't know what's up with that. Probably not going anywhere. They were probably gifted to me for creating content, and I have to be like, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on Izzet. I'm going to work on an Izzet deck. And I'm going to specifically, instead of brewing from scratch last time, I'm going to work on upgrading Wrath of Mages, since many people also like to know, how do I upgrade such and such a deck? Well, let's see if we can help you out there. So this is a Spells Matter deck using Gutter Snipe and Enigma Drake to do awesome things. And yeah, I think I already upgraded this a little. I must have. I added the Rahl that we opened. So we're going to get to play with Rahl a bit today, but we're looking for cards in a Spells Matter type of shell. Whether or not that includes Dive Down is interesting. Dive Down protecting some of our cards might be very good, so I'm going to consider that at least for a start. Whether or not we want to run some of the cards that made our mono blue deck work, like Siren Storm Tamer, is worth considering, but I think I'm going to focus more on spells that draw Encounter and things like that. Disdainful Stroke, maybe, we'll see. Essence Scatter, probably. Very good card for the deck. Radical Idea is a good card for the deck. You get 2 cards in one, basically. What else? An Exclusion Mage. I'd rather have spells. Maybe Divination is actually alright for this style. We'll see. Chemister's Insight is probably very right for the style. Anything with Jumpstart, letting you cast it twice, you're looking for any kind of way to trigger your spell cards that say such and such when you have a spell. We could run some Planeswalkers, all the Planies, and a Dream Eater. So we do have some powerful stuff. And a Nezahal the Primal Tide is something that we open that I always have a soft spot for. Then we want some ways to remove things on the cheap. So getting some burn into the deck is probably smart. I don't know if we'll use all of it. We probably won't use all of it, but I like to throw it all in and then cut it back. I don't know if I'll actually end up playing Gutter Snipe when all's said and done. Same thing for the Sarkhan. I don't know that I'll have any dragons. Rekindling Phoenix, though, that's an excellent card. Some Banefire, maybe to finish the opponent. Doesn't sound too bad. Again, my collection's probably going to differ quite a bit from yours after some amount of time that I've played the game. But that doesn't mean you hopefully can't get something out of watching the process. And how many Guildgates? You already gave us Highland Lake, so I don't know how well this Guildgate thing is going to pay off. Too many tap lands, possibly. Then we got to 100 cards. We're just playing a 100 card deck. Just kidding. So, first of all, probably need 26 lands. So we'll start with some cuts. Maybe we'll go something like that. Then, those are the easy cuts. After that, it gets a lot harder. So I don't actually think I'm a super aggressive deck. I think I'm a kill your stuff, almost mid-range deck, where I kill your stuff for a few minutes, then I play a Drake or a Planeswalker or something hard to kill like a Phoenix, maybe even a Weed Dragonauts, and then get ahead. So I'm going to cut cards that don't follow that strategy. Get to Lava Runner, I believe, is one of those. We probably have too many between Shocks and Shivan Fires. I'm not sure what the right number is. 4 seems nice and round, so maybe I'll stick to that for the time being. We don't need Disperse. Blink of an Eye is the same card as Disperse, but better with a kicker, so it has a little upside. I love Mystic Archaeologist, at least the idea of it. I'm going to let it stay for now. Vidalian Arcanist. Actually pretty good for casting the spells, but not really what I'm looking for the deck. Wind Mage, you can go. Fight with Fire sounds pretty great, as we might need it in the late game. Repeating Barrage, however, not so much. The Sarkhan, we don't have dragons. The Sift is sorcery speed main phase. I'd rather run Divination if I'm going to draw a few cards. Rowdy Crew, not that great. Salvager of Secrets is very much not great to me. And the River's Rebuke is not the kind of sweeper I'm looking for. Entrancing Melody is interesting of gaining control of a creature, but it's usually just a more expensive burn spell. It does, however, get around Indestructible, which is a big problem for these kind of decks. So I can keep that for now. I don't think I need all the Banefire. I have an Expansion Explosion. One Banefire can probably do the job. I don't think I need the Dragonauts. Don't think I need all the Divination. Maybe only one Disdainful Stroke. They can be bad against a low-to-the-ground opponent. Don't think the Spell Pierce is right. Chart, of course, we don't actually have a lot of creatures that are going to attack right away, so I think Radical Idea might just be smarter than Chart, of course. It looks like our second turn needs to be about interacting. Dive Down seems out of place now. Not really enough creatures, as you see. There's only 11. And I actually don't think Gutter Snipe is going to make the cut for me. I know that there's a lot of love for Gutter Snipe. I see it as too easy to kill without enough upside, and I'd rather kill my opponent with my Planeswalkers or my Drakes. I think that will make for a better deck in the long run. Do I have enough card draw to cut a land? Maybe one land. Maybe 25 is a good number for this build, since we have Opt and Radical Idea to try to help us hitting that land drop. We'll see. Might not pay off. I love Lightning Strike. Shocks and Shivan Fires, I'm into those. But maybe I just want to run all the Shocks. It's hard to imagine for 5 mana me using Shivan Fire. I like having the ability to go face. I like always having a target. Any other counters we need to use? I'm actually going to pull the Entrancing Melody. Doesn't really do it for me. With one card left to cut, I think it's actually Banefire, since I have Fight with Fire for the super high-end part. Although the non-counter ability is great in the mirror. But I'm not usually afraid of playing the mirror. Maybe it's Lightning Strike. I've already got tons of removal in this place. Or maybe it's Divination. This Mystic Archaeologist is easy to kill, but since we're going so late game, I imagine I can play it and draw cards off it. And if they don't kill it like I'm against green, it can take over the game. But maybe that's too ambitious considering the way the rest of the deck works. It still seems very nice against control, though. Tough final cut here. I like so many of these cards. I will elect to trim a Radical Idea Opt, Blink of an Eye. I'm still having trouble. Sorry. I guess I'll trim a Blink of an Eye and rely on Dream Eater to be my other Blink of an Eye. And this will be my Izzet. This is my upgraded. This is my Izzet. We'll just call it Izzet for now. It might end up being the deck. Let's go find out how it plays. But this is my upgraded Wrath of Mages take. At least with the cards I've opened so far. Not with anything crafted. But if we like the deck enough, it will be the one we craft at the end of the week. If you watched the Boros episode already, spoiler alert. Okay, if you left, if you don't want spoilers, good. Don't like that Boros. Not feeling the Boros deck much at all. At all. Also, we may as well... I like this hand. We got a removal spell and some high-end plays. Nothing not to like. I'll get you all on YouTube in on the party. So I'm trying to quit soda. Credit to the Game Podcast, Brian Gottlieb, for giving up soda as part of his Head Games podcast. As a person who loves podcasts, I really love that podcast. GAM podcast. Can't recommend it enough if you like Magic the Gathering. And the Head Game section talks specifically about mental preparation and things you can do outside of just playing good Magic to get better at Magic. And quitting soda is part of their health and nutrition episode, the challenge that he's taking to get off all the sugars and such. So I'm doing it too. And you might get a crabby CGB from time to time without the soda that I've basically spent most of my life using in one way or another. Since I was 8 years old, I still remember where I got my first Mountain Dew at a gas station when I was 8 years old. And trying to give it up is going to be hard. So what I'm drinking to fill the space, I need land. I need land or more removal spells. I don't think Disdainful Stroke will be very good against a low-to-the-ground white deck like this. So what I'm drinking to fill the void is I've got apple cider that I'm mixing with water. About 10% cider and 90% water. So the caffeine and the sugar I'm going to miss quite a bit. And I'm of particular concerned that I'll be crabby on stream, and on YouTube. And I know that that might bristle some of you, but if you give me some support and help me through it, well, we can all do this together. No. Our opponent they appear to have made themselves a very nice Boros deck. I'm curious to see if we can keep pace with it. I'd be stunned if this collection of cards didn't have a good amount of crafting involved already, as our opponent basically curved 1, 2, 3 with 3 of the best cards you can for the archetype. And 4, another great card for the archetype, but at least that one comes in the starter deck. And it looks like our missed land drop is going to kill us. And we did have an opt, and it didn't draw us a land, so we're getting severely punished for not running a land and thinking we could lean on the opt. But that could just be bad luck. Could just be some bad luck. Here come the tokens. Let's go ahead and shock away one of them, just to mitigate the damage somehow and try to buy ourselves more time. That's really brutal. Well, we found the land. I don't think Nezahal is going to matter in this game, so I'm probably going to discard it. Too big. Too much beef, buddy. On the bright side, I think our opponent's avoiding a sweeper by just activating their Adanto and not committing any more creatures. We should still wait. Alright. Just in case we want our opponent to think about that we might have an Essence Scatter. Tough crowd, tough crowd. I think this would have been a very good game if we had drawn lands. Playing Tezzeret against this would be interesting. However, from our current position, it's very unlikely we can win. I'm guessing our opponent has a way to kill the Drake. Maybe not. So you're telling me there's a chance? Okay. Let's start making our own 1/1s.
Do you really think you can keep up with me?
I think they can keep up with you, but we will see. Okay. I mean, they're making a 1/1 every turn as well. But I'm hoping our opponent, I don't know, gets distracted by the big shiny mythics and starts attacking them. And continues to draw nothing. That's been nice. So if I have this spot, I'm going to activate the first for it, then attack, then flip the other first for it. Yep. So, oh, I guess it doesn't matter because they don't have another white. They're a little flooded on red. Okay. They're choosing their legendary permanent. Maybe this is fresh to them. And just choose the untapped one. That would do you good. Where's my Jeopardy theme music? Do, 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 do. The Thopter's like, I don't know, I just got here, what you coming at me for? And the Drake's like, come on! Come on, you vampires! Come on, you soldier scum. Let's fight. Let's fight. All right. A very feisty Crackling Drake. Okay, we drew the land. That's very clutch. Dream Eater here might swing this token race. Of course, we're just waiting to get lightning struck or shocked, but our opponent has drawn a lot of land. It's giving us a chance. That is a War Leader. We can shoot that with Fight with Fire. So that's okay. And I think we are looking at either Fight with Fire or the Rawl. But the Dream Eater coming down and keeping us from taking any more damage, I think, has to be priority. Dream Eater, help me make it through the fight. Rah! Nightmare Sphinx Ambush. And let's bounce the one... I keep bouncing the lifelink ones because we just want to reduce the lifelink our opponent can get. So I'm definitely looking at these cards. I'm thinking I'm going to Fight with Fire next turn, and I'm going to take out the this thing. I know, so articulate. The other things I want to draw are counter spells, but I don't have like counter spells or life gain in the deck. So I think the best thing I can do is ban a lot of cards like this and take an Enigma Drake, which can help me end the game quicker. The War Leader. The War Leader is what we're killing. So next turn it'll be Fight with Fire, Enigma Drake, make a dork, and I think we can even begin to attack the opponent. We got a long way to go, but we have to get started. You gotta get it started if you want to get it done, is a country music song from my childhood that my parents played just about every day during an impressionable age. It was by Aaron Tippin, and it's called Working Man's PhD, and I still know that. Disgusting. All right, 30-2. First fort still cranking dorks. Our opponent's drawn like a bajillion lands just to give us a chance. They're so kind. Yeah, and I'm gonna make you into a GIF. Here, Fight with Fire that. Resolve it. We had an opportunity to Expansion Explosion copy it. I don't think that's very important. And now let's start beating down. We can end the game very, very quickly if we get the time. We just need the time. In fact, I think I can do it next turn. No! No! One more turn! Oh! But our opponent, to be fair, they had a very sad draw. They drew a ton of land in a row when they were trying to close us off and beat us. So they had a great 1, 2, 3, 4, and that was enough with our missed land drop to get there. Still, I'm not upset. I like the deck, and its ability to almost come back and deal 30 damage over 2 turns was pretty nice. Since we don't have sweepers, area of effect cards, ways to clear the board. Since we don't have those, it's probably very good to have a card like Tezzeret that makes tokens of our own to create a wide board. And yeah, I'll try this hand out. It's good, it's got some land, some card draw. We don't have any removal spells. We may have to get lucky and find them. I could have a turn 1 opt available, but I like to get my tap lands out of the way early, because opt just finds you another card. If it's a card you want to play, you need untapped mana to play it. So opting into something that you can't play for a few turns isn't very healthy. It also lets us do this. Turn 2, we'll play a Highland Lake tapped, and then we'll get our opt on. A Leonin War Leader. So somebody's bringing a Cat Soldier to the fight. I'll take a Banefire. It's not that I need a Banefire right now. I don't have a ton of mana. It's that I'm confident I could use it later. And just having some kind of removal spell is a good place to be. Now down comes Enigma Drake. You can always draw some cards later. But against green-white, which usually doesn't play a lot of removal, I like to get my creatures online early. Against a deck that was just holding up counter spells, I'd probably play a Divination, not a Drake. All right, we found Tezzeret. So I really want to cast my Tezzeret next turn, so I think the best way to do that is to Divinate now. And yeah, we would have had the land anyway, but I still like the plan. So we could attack for 2, but I'll save this for blocking instead, as it looks like our opponent's playing a green-white token-y go-wide thing. Oh yeah, the mascot of the whole format, Leonin Warleader. Yeah, I'm blocking. Easy block. When your opponent's tapped out, they can't do anything to hurt your Drake. Just make sure they've also played a land that turn. Glad we kept the Banefire. Get that off the board. And now the Drake can eat the Bugler. What, you want some of this? Oh, you want some of this? Ew, Hieromancer's Cage. Well, we have another. And we have a Tezzeret. So we're okay. I think my opponent's going to play the Tendershoot Dryad next. So I'm going to play my Drake and leave mana open to Lightning Strike the Dryad before it creates a 1/1. I'm going to mark this for a stop, because if my opponent does play the Dryad, at the beginning of each upkeep they get a 1/1. So I want to take that out on their end step. The beginning of each upkeep. Yep. So you want to come over? Want to come meet the Drake? Interesting. Smells like a bluff, and if I'm not blocking, I don't know what I'm doing with my time. However, if I block here, and it's some kind of +2/+2, I really don't see it. I just don't think he has it. I can't think of what it is. Might of the Masses. Interesting. Okay. I think losing my Drake compared to letting the Tendershoot live, killing the Tendershoot's a better play. That card can get completely out of control. Killing the Bugler, I'm sure I'll find another way. So we'll play our Tezzeret and start making Thopters.
This will keep an eye on you.
It's not very great if the opponent has another creature to pump their Vanguard, but they might not. I guess they can make them with Memorial. Oh no. Oh no.
How dare you?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And now they are absolutely exploding with creatures. We're in a ton of trouble. The last card must be Convoke or a land. Don't know why you're counting my mana when deciding whether or not to play the last card in your hand. Let's see. Convoke. Yeah, so our opponent, hell of a deck. Nicely done. I can't, when we get to Selesyna, we're going to want some of that. Let's start with Divination. Okay, Fight with Fire. That is probably my saving grace, but I'm going to need another land. And to get that, I'm going to draw a card instead of make a Thopter.
Logic will always win.
Okay. I can take this out now. That's probably wise before our opponent gets another thing. I could copy it, but I think I'll leave up Disdainful Stroke in case my opponent draws something. And then I'll pass turn, and we need one more land to fight with fire and clean this mess up. Tezzeret dying is sad, but he's taking one for the team on this one. Seems like my opponent's assuming I don't have a removal spell. No, they're not. Okay. So we got one more attack to go at Tezzeret then.
Cease this nonsense.
Still, if I had another Lightning Strike or a Shock, Tezzeret could have lived. I think that would have been very bad. Alright, well, we drew Rawl. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to go find that land for my Fight with Fire. And Rawl is probably going to die as well. Ugh. I hate putting the Drake in the graveyard, but it is what it is. And then I'm going to save this I don't want my opponent to know I fetched a land, because that gives away the fight with fire. I want it to be a big surprise. But my opponent, if they can find a way to pump their team without it being too expensive, could go for the win here. Well, not the win, but really close to the win. And again, they're picking on Ral.
That tickled. I've been through worse.
Still at 8 life, hanging in there. One. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that's everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Fun. Roar! Pew, 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 pew! Where'd your stuff go? They get to make more with the memorial. So they have a pair of 2/2s, or a pair of 1/1s. We're not out of the woods yet. Oh my god. Really? Really? I let my Disdainful Stroke guard down for a turn and this is what happens? Really? Alright. So we have Expansion Explosion. We could hit the Dryad with it, of course. The question is, do we want to leave up Disdainful Stroke? I could try to opt. I might find another fight with fire. That would be better. So I'm going to try this first. No, that's not fight with fire. All right. I think I should just take the 5 cards, because there's no guarantee I'll hit the things I need. So 5 damage to that, and I draw 5. And we're gonna hope we live another turn. And then, yeah, go from there. If they find a way to pump these tokens, we're in trouble. I'm sure they play something like that, as the whole deck seems, they had a Might of the Masses, we saw that earlier. I'll do one of these now, just because it might be a sorcery speed effect that I want to play. It is not. Alright, pass turn. And we'll use these at instant speed, hopefully. Here is a shock. Resolves. Here is a strike. Resolves. So you're telling me there's a chance. Radical idea, discard this, draw. Okay, I'm gonna save that. Go to 2 again, second game in a row, living on 2 life. Sapperling Migration. Why did I not get it? I guess Disdainful Stroke can't counter it because of Kicker. Alright. Well, that's painful. If we make a 1/1 and we kill one of these, we're still taking too much damage. So I have to draw a card from this. And hope I hit a winner. And that is not a winner. Alright, so we'll say, good game. I'll let them do their questy thing. I mean, why? I guess they have quests to do, so do I. But man, got proper obliterated on that one. But still, I'm enjoying the deck. Like, I can lose with this deck and feel like at least I'm trying to solve a puzzle of making it work. And that was a pretty fair matchup, I'd say. Our opponent crafted a lot of Tendershoot Dryads. That felt a little like getting spammed by some pretty good rares. That was a little frustrating, but other than that, nothing to complain about. It's interesting, the mentality, because I don't even think about it when I'm playing my my other account, which has a ton of unlocked cards. Unless my opponent is playing a total starter deck, then it occurs to me that I am in a completely mismatched situation. But I think we'll draw red mana. This is going to be fine. But when I'm playing this account, it's almost like in the back of my mind there's an obsession with whether or not I'm getting screwed by somebody who paid a lot of money and is playing a tier 1 deck. There's almost an obsession about what I'm playing against. And I see it when I watch other YouTubers too. Shout out to Primal Hunt Cheeks, who has a very entertaining show. It's not for everybody. He's kind of abrasive, but it's worth checking out if you're interested. But I mean, I think every game, he's basically spends the game obsessed with whether or not his opponent has what he calls the premiums, whether or not they spent a lot of money on their collection. And I notice it too when I'm playing my free-to-play account. I can't get past it. It's all I think about is, am I in a fair matchup, or is this a garbage matchup? Is this like a complete economic mismatch? So it's interesting to have to approach it from that side of things. And if nothing else, I think I'm learning a lot by playing this account about how other people experience the game. So that's something useful and interesting to. I'm not sure what my point is. I'm not offering a solution or saying it's good or bad. It's just something to observe and maybe toss around in my brain and figure out what that means for me, for other people, for the game itself. Yep, we're gonna Insight, and then I'm gonna Insight, and it looks like we're gonna have a staring match. Our opponent's on blue-black control. Maybe it's the Disinformation Campaign version. I'd have to assume I'm in a pretty bad spot for that. I'm gonna copy this. I want to do it. See how you like it. See how you like getting your thought erased. So they're gonna try to make way for Thief of Sanity. They have another thought erasure. I can deal with this, no matter what they take. I don't think I care about this too much, but I can grab their other thought erasure. And yeah, that's pretty good considering their hand. They'll have to Ritual of Soot it, that's kind of interesting. And what did they take? My Insight? Okay. I mean, I just jumpstart it. Yeah, go away. I play this, they play Ritual of Soot. But that takes their whole turn. I can get it under the Disdainful Stroke anytime, though, so I think I'll just pass. I think my opponent might discard the Ritual of Soot to their Chemister's Insight, so that's what I'm going to bank on here. I'm going to discard my Essence Scatter because they can play around it very, very well. And just wait for another counterspell to play their Doom Whisperer or whatever. So that's why I'm going to bin it. Alright, they're going to Disdainful Stroke my card drawer. Weird. Again, we'll wait a turn. I think they'll discard the Soot to the Insight. They didn't see the Mystic Archaeologist. It was a Surveil on top of the deck. And there we go. Now, they might draw another way to deal with it. It's possible. And then they might draw land. My own Divination. I think I'll start there. They might counter it. They countered the Chemister's Insight after all. Divination's better. At least when it comes to the Jumpstart version. There you go. It just hates my card draw spells. Well, you better hope that you have a way to kill this Archaeologist. Or I'm going to draw a lot of cards. Okay, fine. All my planning. Feels like I'm getting the short end of the luck today, but oh well. Magic. Luck is a thing. My third Essence Scatter. Great. Great.
Ooh, a battle. Think you can beat me? You're welcome to try. Decision time.
Fire away.
Nothing feels broken.
Yep. I guess I should have lightning struck before the raw ability resolved. That could cost me the game. Yeah, but I'm leaving. I have no more cards to play, and I'm not going to watch that. We're 0-3, and I like this deck more. I think that tells you a lot about my my control mage-y tendencies. Well, we're not actually knocking quests out, though, with it. I actually like it, but I want to play more with it. But let's knock out the black-white quest. I think I still have an Eternal Thirst here. Let's go just jam out this quest. And then we'll call it a day. The Tai Chi zombie opponent. Fun. All right. I think I need land. I would love to play a 2-drop creature, but I think my main concern has to be getting to lands, number 3 and 4, as quickly as possible. Oh, this is raw Eternal Thirst. This isn't the version I worked on. Oops. So we're playing pure starter deck. Let's see if we get creamed for it. Oh my goodness. So this is how I win a game? Our opponent keeps a 1-lander? All right. That's great. And then suddenly it was no longer that kind of game anymore. My opponent just has all the goods. Firemind's Research is a really fun card. I'm curious to see how this goes. Whenever they cast an instant or sorcery, they get a charge counter. They can remove... Excuse me. They can remove 2 charge counters to draw a card, and remove 5 to deal a bunch of damage. Alright. They are still stuck on land. They kept a 1-lander. I can't even. I guess they love Firemind's Research that much. Let's see if the War Leader can take this game over for us. A Lava Coil, though, would of course be a heartbreaker. Welcome to Shock City. Holy cow. I'm very close to being able to make an angel with this, but I guess next turn. Yep. Lightning Strike. Stunning. Yeah, not a very good game. Our poor opponent got mana screwed, but they mean well. They mean well. Did we get our quests? Yeah, we got there. All right, cash in that gold. Oh, 1 more for a pack. All right. All right, Izzet. I'm going to give you one more shot. One chance. One chance to go out on a win. We're playing an X-Men. Heads up. Beware of flying exploding cards. 4 lands, some draw spells, a removal spell. And I could not ask for more. Okie dokie. Looking for a shock. Seems bad. But I think you just have to get rid of those Surveil cards that get buffed by Surveil if they play them early. You just gotta say no. Say no to Surveil, everybody. Wow. So this is going poorly. Our opponent's Night Veil Sprite surveils, second Night Veil Sprite gets ready to do more surveilling. Let the party continue. But if we keep our opponent from resolving any of the surveil buff creatures, we might be okay. Surveilling on its own is meh. It's basically scrying. If you're not using the graveyard functionality, that is. Which most of these decks honestly don't take advantage of that. Unless you count like Connive Concoct. So like there, okay, you bin your Lazav. Maybe you have another Lazav in hand. And you bin a pretty good spell. So what's cooking? What are you after? Alright. Just turning my deck upside down, don't mind me. And that time you bin nothing. I guess land. Really needed a land. Now you're gonna thought erasure me. If they want to take the insight, they can take the insight. If not, we'll get 2 cards off it. If they take it, we can jumpstart it anyway. I mean, God, people really hate Chemister's insight. I don't think there's a world where I wouldn't take the Essence Scatter, but I don't know their deck well enough. I'm just guessing at what's in it. All right. So what do we do? I feel like our opponent's really likely to have a removal spell, and Expansion Explosion could copy it and destroy something else. So I'm going to play the Archaeologist, and we'll see what our opponent does. I mean, they're going to surveil the crap out of their deck. We know this. This we know. And now they're binning land. Ain't that something? Here we go again. I could copy that, but I don't think it's worth it. I mean, the card is fine. I don't get what all. If our opponent has a clear plan that they're trying to put together, they should have it. There's no reason they shouldn't have it by now. None. They're basically tearing their deck apart, and I'm letting them do it because whatever that plan is, I'm gonna get them. So I don't think I'll get a chance to use my Archaeologist this turn. I think my opponent would force my hand with something, which would be wise. But I'll play this Crackling Drake. Come at me, sprites. And if the opponent plays a removal spell, we can copy it and kill a sprite, or we can Essence Scatter, which our opponent knows about. Price of Fame. Yep. Do we want to copy that and kill one of these? We could also just... They're tapped out, so we could kill one of these and draw 3 cards. But then we wouldn't have Explosion available, and we have the Archaeologist, so I don't need that. So I'll show the Night Veil sprite the Price of Fame. Ooh, do I like Drakes? And Ops. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, So if I want to use the Archaeologist next turn, I'm not really playing either of these. But I'll take the I'll take them both anyway. It's good to have options. Love all the interactivity. Just love all the options I get. I think that's why I like a deck like this more than a Boros. I think it's just a style. Oh, you don't want to take two? You don't want to surveil? You already know what's on top of your deck, so it's not like surveilling will get you anything. And we'll see if our opponent's set up. Yep. Like I had a feeling they would go like Thought Erasure, take your Essence Scatter or whatever. That's why we put the Drake here so they couldn't take it. And now they'll probably try to cast something else. They've been a land. They have a Thief of Sanity. Yeah, we're going to be fine, I think. But just in case... Alright, we did not find a... Oh, there we go. I was going to say we didn't find an Essence Scatter, but that'll do. Opponents loves their Thief of Sanity. Lightning is striking again. And then we could leave up Disdainful Stroke and play the Drake, make the opponent deal with it, but I'd rather draw two cards. Drawing cards is fun. And we have to overcome all these like 1-for-1s. And the card selection quality our opponent has been able to find using their Surveil silliness. They kept on top. They played a Doom Whisperer. No. Although now I sort of wish. God, they're almost dead. What are the odds that they thought sees me again? Or thought erase? They have two more in the deck. It's possible. They kept something on top. It's quite possible that they thought erase me. But I'm going to take the risk. I think that instead of thought erasing me, they'll deal with this Drake. And then maybe we can get our opponent to attack. Although now they have a blocker. What's this? Yeah. Exiling one of these makes the Enigma Drake a little smaller. Okay. They hit another Blood Operative. Oh, pay. Pay, 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 pay. Please pay. Please pay. Oh, yeah! Hell, I even found a shock. See? Finally killed the sprite. Those of you, like, probably freaking out that the opponent got to surveil so many times. I'm sure you're out there. We ignored those sprites for almost the entire game, and we just had more cards than our opponent because our cards drew cards and their cards looked at cards. It's a good lesson to learn for those of you who think that Surveil is the bee's knees. Surveil's a fine mechanic. It's not a strategy. All right, we got a pack. We're gonna save it till Friday, so make sure you come back Friday. And thank you very much for watching. As always, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for all your support. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.